Dear friends, welcome to the 11th and one before last segment of the ETHEM Innovation Series on megatrends and their impact on society, consumers and companies. I'm Joost van Nispen, founder of ETHEM, the Innovation Institute at esic Business and Marketing School. In Twitter, Joost Tom. Our ninth megatrend looks at the growing consensus about privacy and security. Some of its findings are based on a recent worldwide study in which we participated by the GDMA Global Data and Marketing Alliance. We are finding an emerging consensus on data processing. And it reminds me of a song, a famous song in its days, that said, "Now you want to be loved, yet you want to be free." A very difficult balance to reach. And with privacy, something very similar is happening as well. On one hand, consumers reject rotundly data trolling and merchandising. They consider their data their own and are increasingly aware of its value. But they're also becoming aware that without data, there are no meaningful relationships with brands, and there is no recognition or privilege or rewards, which we saw is one of the other megatrends. So increasingly, consumers accept the trade-off between privacy and personal service and personal offers, reward and recognition, but under very specific circumstances. They want to self-manage their data. They're willing to do it only with companies they trust. Here we see many of the megatrends that we've looked at in other occasions come together. In this particular case, the idea of peace of mind and confidence and trust. They want tangible benefits for it. Very specifically, they want either cash rewards or clear, concrete, tangible discounts. They want total transparency. They want protocols that explain exactly how their data are going to be used and for what purpose. And they need a credible authority that guarantees compliance. But when these situations join together, customers are more and more willing to share their data within this context. One of the new technologies in this area is facial recognition. It's becoming ubiquitous and will offer a new level of opportunities and challenges. An alliance is emerging between influential consumers, very often trailblazing consumer leaders, and companies that will lay the foundation for a win-win ecosystem which will benefit both parties. And that would be a major advance in a totally new, more and more personalized, but also more and more responsible and trustworthy form of marketing. Data's PRQ is a facial recognition system that ensures that the bar queues are properly managed. I don't know about you, I often find it exasperating to be in a bar, to stand in a line to be served and seeing the bartender serving their friends or people that they like, even though they just came in. And this facial recognition software manages the queue and ensures that the queue is managed by the bartenders on a first-come, first-served basis. It's these kinds of applications of facial recognition technology that are increasingly accepted and even celebrated by customers. We move directly to our 10th and final megatrend, which is the purpose of things, and very particularly customers, consumers search for brands with a purpose. Consumers no longer buy only on the basis of the famous 4 Ps: product, price, place, and promotion. Not even just for the quality of service or the attention to customers. All this has simply become price of entry. Price of entry meaning in this context that it no longer differentiates you from the competition, except negatively. If you are not competitive with price, you simply are no longer allowed on the playing field. But if you are competitive on price or any of these other things I just mentioned, rest assured that your most advanced competitors will match you. Therefore, all these things no longer differentiate you, except if you cannot keep up. They differentiate negatively, but not positively. What then are consumers looking for nowadays? Well, they seek to relate and identify with brands that have a clear purpose. And a purpose is something that you do as a company beyond just making money. Things like being respectful of their privacy, being responsive to their needs, and having a commitment to sustainability and corporate social responsibility. Consumers also are increasingly looking for companies that share their political conviction and their values. They expect their brands to have a growing impact on public debate. And we are seeing effectively that more and more companies are using, for example, their CEOs, this part of the humanization of brands that we also talked about in another occasion. They use these CEOs to express themselves on issues that go far beyond the quality of their products or any of the other traditional forms of the marketing mix, but that are increasingly important to their customers. Talking about things that customers demand their brands take a sympathetic stand on. Companies will include their purpose in their business plans, in their marketing plans, and they do it because it gives their customers a reason to believe, and it gives companies the opportunity to communicate with customers about their true purpose way beyond just making money. Marketing will increasingly work to demonstrate these contributions to society, giving therefore customers the reason to believe, without which there will be soon no customers left. An extreme but very beautiful example comes from KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines, which encourages us to ask when we are about to book whether our trip is really necessary. Now imagine this, an airline that will not try to fill every seat at whatever cost. They will ask you, is your trip really necessary? Have you considered the alternatives? No longer everything goes, and customers respond very positively. My final example is Baby Friendly Companies. It's a Spanish company that started out as a company dedicated to sending baskets for newly born children of employees, and they were very famous for this particular service. They then realized that their purpose really was not just sending baskets of goodies to recent parents, but that it really was to help companies to celebrate parents-to-be, to help companies create a corporate culture that would encourage them to find the right work-family balance, and to give support to employees about to become parents. And this is an interesting transition, because we start with a company that simply defines itself as a provider, as a supplier of products, but now has become a partner that helps other companies to be better companies. And of course, by celebrating and integrating young parents and helping them to a good career in their companies, they will get a significant competitive advantage in the attraction and the keeping of the talent, without which nowadays no company prospers. In our final segment, I will share some thoughts on what these megatrends mean for the future of marketing and innovation. Thank you for being here today.